Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 53rd tutorial in this course. In this tutorial, we are going to continue our discussion on arrays, and I'm going to talk about a few things about arrays that I missed in the last two tutorials. Right, so using code blocks, I've saved a file and I've given it the name array underscore misc. That's supposed to be short form for miscellaneous dot c, and on line 1 in this file, I have the stdio.h header file, and then I have the main function and some lines of code between the main function. Right, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about is this. If suppose you do not know in advance how many elements your array is going to store, then in that case, how would you decide what value you have to put between the square brackets while declaring your array? Well, C makes this simple for you. So if you don't know in advance how many values your array is going to store, well, you don't have to put in any value between the brackets. You can leave the brackets empty, right? So in the main function on line 4, I have declared an integer. It's called I, and this variable I'm going to use as the control variable for the for loop for accessing the elements in the ARR array, which is declared and initialized on line 5. And when you use this method, that is when you do not provide any value between the square brackets, you have to use the curly braces method of for initializing your array, right? So the name of the array is ARR and it's a float type, so all the values in it will be floats as well. And currently it has 4 values, right? So I haven't typed in 4 here, but C would automatically determine how many elements the array is going to hold. And the first one has the first element is going to get the value 5.45, the second one is going to get 20.62, third one 18.57, fourth one is going to get 19.00, right? And then I have the for statement on line 6, and of course we'll have to start with the 0 as the value for I, because the index of the first element is 0. And since there are 4 values in the array currently, we've initialized it with 4 values, we'll have to loop till 3, right? So you have to go from 0 to 3. And then in the body of the for loop, I have one printf statement that's going to display the values that are stored in the ARR array, right? So let me run the program and show you guys the output. So you see that I have 4 statements of output in the output window, and each value that's stored in the ARR array is displayed on screen. This was one thing that I wanted to talk about. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is this. If suppose you want to change one value out of the 4 values in the array, then you can either do that at the top here, that is on line 5. Suppose if I want to change the value stored in the third element from 18.57 to 25.45, right? So I can remove 18.57 from here and I can type in 25.45. But that's if suppose I do not want to do this. If suppose I want the initialization statement to stay intact, but I want to change the value of just the third element somewhere down the line in the program, right? So I'll change this back to 18.57, and what I'll do is on a new line, I'm going to type in the name of the array, which is ARR, then the index of the third element, which is 2, in square brackets, and then I'll use the assignment operator and type in the new value, right? So if I want to give 25.45, then I can type that, and I'll put a semicolon to terminate the statement and save the file. When I click on build and run, you see that I get new output this time, and the third element has the value 25.45 instead of 18.57, right? So you do not have to change the value in the initialization statement if you want to let the statement be the way it is. Like sometimes you would want that to happen, then you can let it be that way and you can change the value in this way. So this is something that we have not seen thus far. That's why I talked about it. And the first thing that we discussed, that you should not put the number of elements within the square brackets if you're not sure about how many elements your array is going to have. That's a very important thing, and if you get to develop big applications, then it's certainly something that you should keep in mind, because if you put in any value here, like suppose if I would have put 10 or 15 or 20 or 100, and if I would have just given 4 values to the array, then the array would have still had the memory that would be required to store 5 or 15 or 20 or as many elements as you specify in the square brackets. It would get that much memory, right? So it would unnecessarily consume memory in your system. Now, these days, people are not, too bothered about memory constraints because memory is cheap these days, so you can buy memory easily and very cheaply. But earlier people were very particular about such things, and it's a good habit to have actually. You should, as a programmer, try to save as much memory as you can, even if you get to save a few bytes, right? So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope this was informative and fun for you, and I'll see you guys in the next one, in which we'll discuss something interesting again. Probably we're going to talk about arrays a little more, and thank you so much for watching this, and please subscribe to my channel in case you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.